Hi, my name's BJ. I'm a licensed real estate agent with At Realty in Sydney, New South Wales. And today I'd like to talk to you about investment properties and specifically managing your own investment property yourself, doing it all by yourself. So let's get into that. I want to give you my top 5 things that you can do as someone who manages that yourself, things to watch out for, and also some really good resources and tips where you can get the right information. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing is choose the right tenant. So once you've advertised your property for sale, you've got some tenancy applications, go through them and really be vigilant about looking at each applicant and deciding whether they're going to be a good, suitable fit for your property. Now, once you get down to the final couple, I'd highly encourage you to go to a company, you can see it here, Equifax, pay $38.50, get a check. And what that check's going to tell you is things like how their credit rating, what their credit rating is like. It might also have things about possibly old tenancies where the court got involved, any bankruptcies. But the most important thing is it's going to verify their identity and make sure that you know who you're talking to. Now, you need to get their consent in order to perform this credit check, and that usually just itself sort of warns off a few people that might not have the best intentions. But do that check. It's $38.50. I get it. You've just bought your property. It's another expense, but this is one worth paying for. Get it done. $38.50. Okay, let's get on to step 2. Step 2, and probably one of the most important steps in preserving your rights as a landlord, is making sure you have a tenancy agreement in place before you hand over the keys. Once you give them the keys, you are on your knees, okay? You're at their peril. So get across to the Fair Trading New South Wales website, get yourself educated. Here is the starting a tenancy page on their site. It's very good. All the resources that they have here are excellent. Go through, read through this, and once you are ready, you can go in and actually create I'll just flick that across there. You can create your own residential tenancy agreement. This is the current version, but make sure you get the latest version from the website, okay? So, and that will be referenced in that other page. Now, why is it important? Look, I've had situations, and usually what happens is people go and do these arrangements, and it's all very good when you first go in. Everyone's really happy. Yes, everything's going to be good. When things starts to go bad, with no agreement in place, it's very hard to manage to. And I see this time and time again. Have an agreement. Now, when you're going through this agreement, you're going to come across a couple of different things. The first thing is a water efficiency certificate. If you want to charge your tenant for water usage, which is quite within your rights to do, there needs to be a couple of things going on. Firstly, you need to have a compliance certificate from a plumber. You don't need to get that reviewed every 12 months, but every time you put a new tenant in your investment property, you must get a compliance certificate if you want to charge them for water, okay? Very, very important. The other thing I will mention on that is it's a very good idea while that plumber's there just to go around, check all the taps in the house, because the biggest part of calling a plumber out is the call out fee. So just try and be a bit sensible when you're doing that. Say, look, go through the place, what needs to be done. For the sake of a couple $100, you might save yourself a call out fee later down the track, okay? So get that done. So once you've got the agreement done, fill it out, and then you want to make sure you've got a lot of incoming photos. And again, the condition report stuff you'll find on the website, but photos are very important. They're a true reflection of what condition the property is when you hand it over to the tenant. It also has a process in there where the tenant can brief back to you anything that they disagree with. So there can be no argument as you enter into that agreement as to the condition of the property. So look, I understand it's a lot of work, but it is worth it because it will save you down the track. Okay, step 3, when it comes to bonds, I'd highly encourage you to use the government service RBO Online. And the reason for that, look, myself as an investor, I've had this experience. Okay, I've just bought a new investment property and a tenant from an old property decides to move out, and then I'm shuffling around to try and find the bond money so I can refund that other tenant. And it's just a very complicated process. Today, I don't do that at all. What I do is I use RBO Online because it's just so much easier. You register as a landlord, and I'll just show you what that is here. You just fill out a bonds online owner of proof of identity in a registration form. They will give you a login. You log in, and then it will send the tenant a SMS and say, look, you've applied for this property. We'd like you to pay this bond. They pay the bond, and then RBO will send you a message saying, look, we've got the bond now. Everything's cool, and you can go about your business. So Very important that you do that, and for a couple of reasons. A, you don't have to find the money when they leave, and it can just be kept separate, which I love. But the other reason I love it too is because if you do have a discrepancy with that tenant and you need to go to NCAT and have the matter heard, it's really good to have them in the process, and they will give orders, and then it'll just work out nice and smoothly. Also, if that tenant's moving to another address or another rental, it's easier for them to transfer their bond as well. So look, all round, I would highly recommend that you do use RBO Online. Step 4, landlord insurance. Very important that you have insurance on your property. So, with COVID and everything that's been going on, a lot of the policies have changed. So do your homework, do your research. But you do want to cover yourself for things like malicious damage, just in case that you have selected the wrong tenant. You can be covered and sleep a little bit better at night. Look, step 5, and this is probably the most important step I can give you through all of my years of experience, is just keep in good with the tenant. So once you've made that decision, look, maintain the relationship. Don't just let it be they pay the rent and then you send them a receipt. I mean, I think that is really asking for a breakdown in the relationship. Will it really kill you to send an SMS on their birthday to say happy birthday? Going around and giving them a bottle of wine at Christmas time and saying, look, thanks for being a great tenant. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great Christmas. Those sort of little things, they take 10, 15 minutes out of your day. You only need to do them, a couple of times a year, but they really make a big difference, and that helps build that bond between you and the tenant. So I think that's really good. Look, lastly, tenants.org.au, which is the Tenants Union of New South Wales. Very good resource, not just for tenants, but also for landlords. Look, I don't think landlords really set out to do the wrong thing, but it's just sometimes, tenants and landlords, there's this big confusion of, what the legislation is and how the rules work. So as a landlord, just invest a little bit of time in keeping your knowledge up to date. And as there are changes, you can actually subscribe to a lot of the things on the Fair Trading website, and they'll give you that information as it changes. So just be a good landlord in that, keep yourself up to speed with changes in legislation. Okay. Look, they're my top tips. I hope they really help you. Look, if you find all that a bit too much and you'd like a professional to do it for you, please feel free to reach out to me. My details are in the description. But I wish you the best and good luck, and see you next time. Take care.